Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here with Jason Blaha Strength and Fitness. And a quick reminder, if you guys will please click like down below and drop me a comment, I would appreciate it. But it's time for another full body workout. I apologize for the sawing in the background. There's some neighbors down the street doing construction. Hopefully it's not too loud in here. All right, so we started off with bench press. I got really serious abdoms and it even made my lower back a little sore today. I did all that GPP yesterday, a little more than I'm used to, but I also haven't done any real serious direct ab work other than some high rep crunches in bed at night. And I did 2 sets of toe to bars yesterday, like 2 hard sets. My abs were hurting, so I'm just kind of like, look, I've had really good workouts, had some really good lower body workouts recently, great deadlifts. The squats are going up, my abs hurt. I noticed that I tried to put the belt on. I went to warm up with the bar on the squats. And I'm like, I don't want to risk my abs having some sort of cramp or whatever squatting and deadlifting. I squat and deadlift 3 days a week. I'm doing a leg work on the off days. I'm like, I can get away with 1 day of just being sure. Because even now, like my abs hurt. So I'm going to have to get used to that ab work. I'm going to keep it in there. I feel like I need it. And I do feel like everything's kind of going along well with good recomposition and stuff. Feel like all the GPP is helping. So again, we had to skip that. So again, otherwise it would be squat, bench, deadlift to start. So I'm keeping my programming like that. A lot of my supplemental stuff changes. So I think people need to remember they're kind of like, why do you change some of the supplemental lifts? We do, but then we progress on it. So yeah, my supplemental lifts do change a little bit, whether I do chin-ups versus pull-ups, incline versus dips. Like we rotate through this stuff based upon what I'm wanting to do, and that's okay. The thing is, though, we generally work off of, everything is programmed off top sets on squat, bench, and deadlift. And so that's the core of my training. Today I had to skip the squat and the deadlift, but it's not, hey, I'm changing my program. It's that I was concerned with the core, right? I'm concerned because of the abdoms, and it's not because, oh, they're not recovered. I'm just scared that I'm not going to brace correctly. And an incorrect bracing on a hard deadlift or a hard back squat set, it's just not worth it to me. The risk of something going wrong, so listen to your body, be careful. Now, that being said, this stuff went good. So the benching, I got my 4 reps, like I've been doing a 315. We're right where we need to be, okay? And then I decided to bump it up. I did some stuff where I ramped up and did 245 a while back, but then I've been doing back off work with 225 and I've been PRing it over and over. I didn't feel like I was going to get a PR there. So I'm like, let's go with heavier back off work. I did 245 before. Let me try 250. Let's go up 5 pounds from the last time I did a non-225 set. So there's progression here, right? Hopefully people see that. I got 12 reps. I'm pretty happy with that. And the reason is when I was benching 365 sometime back at a slightly heavier body weight, I hit a 365 pause bench, and then I was at that time doing sets of 10 with 250. Well, I got 12 with it today. Okay, so that tells me we're on the right track. So I kind of want to see if we can push that up. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to alternate with some of that 10 to 12 stuff. And I'm going to alternate that with the M reps on 225. But I want to get to that 20. I've got like 15, 16, 17, 18 so far with the 225. I know that I was not PRing it today. I could tell based on the bench. That 4th rep was really heavy. That 4th rep was a little grindy with that 315. I know that I don't have the 225 PR today. So I'm like, let's go for something with a little more tension. And let's see if we can PR some other weight for a rep. Makes sense? So again, just chasing that progressive overload, and that's fine because as long as we're adding reps here and there on the back off work, meaning, okay, I've not hit 12 reps with 245 that I recall any time in a long time. So, okay, we've been hitting PRs with 225. Let's try that. I got 10s with it before. Well, I got 12, so that's good. I'll take the win. Also, reverse hypers. I feel like I need to add these back in general. I don't want to do them on the lifting days normally, but I didn't squat and deadlift today. I'm like, I don't want to skip all the lower body work. So let's do some 3 sets of reverse hypers. I'm going to start adding these on the GPP days. I feel like that's a really good place for them for me. So I did 3 sets. The same weight I've been using last time, because some of these I got an extra rep or two after the 25. So I probably need to start continuing to add weight on it. But I think on the GPP days, that would be a great place to throw these in, right? We finish up with that restoration work, because my main training days, the volumes are going to get a little high because I want to specialize a little bit more in shoulders. It's something I said in the live stream. I was looking at footage, like looking at the pictures and the angles of those throws. Everyone's, even a bunch of clients, Ryan was like, dude, you look like the Hulk, you look thick. But I'm looking at it realizing even my arms look decent there. My delts are still a lagging point. So I think what I really want to do, push all my compounds, the stuff that I know gets my bench stronger, gets me thicker, right? Which is going to be dips and pull-ups or chin-ups, right? Let's just push that stuff, and then I'm going to do delt work. Now I'm going to keep some bands in for arms, and I'm debating if I want to keep chins or pull-ups in as far as the pull-up slide goes. I'm like, man, I can get a little more bicep. So the dips, we did really good here. Real happy with the reps. I got 11 on both. Now looking at these, they're deep. Most of them are deep, but a couple of those reps, I'm like, I feel like I could have got a hair deeper, so let's work on that. But I mean, I want to get these up to where, okay, what if I can get these to some 12s? Like this was 10s not that long ago. It was 8s, and I built it to 10s with this weight for going deep. So again, I know that the dip builds my chest, my triceps. I get a lot of tricep on dips, right? I get a lot of tricep activation, but I need to build the chest. And I know that on the high rep, the really high rep benching, I get a ton. My triceps just throb. The heavy benching, it's all chest. It's all chest for me. So those 315 sets, I know that my pecs are limiting it. And I also suspect if my delts are lagging, are my delts potentially limiting? I don't feel like my triceps are limiting my current bench. I know what I've done on extensions. I've hit PR after PR on extensions. I've hit a lot of the PRs on the dips. So I feel like my triceps are definitely not, and I don't feel them on the heavy work at all. So I need to keep bringing up the chest, but that will bring triceps up too, because the bench and the dips and all that are tricep exercises too. So I decided to do chins today. I got 10s with a 25. I decided to do chins instead of the pull-ups today. I alternate between these a lot. I've been doing the pull-ups, and I feel like I really like the pull-ups. But I've been doing so much forearm stuff that I'm really worried about the extra forearms from the pull-ups. And if I'm not going to curl or anything, I could do chins here. But I also could just work pull-ups in and say, there's no evidence that pull-ups don't build biceps the way you want. And besides, I want to do a little bit of band stuff at the ends for blood flow. I feel like that's going to finish things out. But my arms were the biggest when I didn't care about biceps at all. If you guys recall, like from other pictures, and that was pointed out, my arms were the biggest since I've been making content, when I didn't do any arm isolation. I didn't care about it. It was like do pull-ups, rows, dips, pressing, right? We didn't care. So some of that could be that I just need to get stronger at all those various movements. So I'm just going to chill there, and let's work on shoulders. Okay, work on shoulders. Now I need to think about the volumes here. So I only did 2 sets of exercise, but I'm like, let me do my laterals. And I like the plates. And I know multiple people who've thanked me for the plate raises. They're like, wow, it felt totally different. Felt really good in my shoulders, and their delts grow. So it's like, let me work the plates back in. All right. Plate raises, do them strict. I feel like for me, with my powerlifting background, they work really well. I feel so much side delt. And the reason is because I tend to squeeze the hell out of everything. And so dumbbell handles, I squeeze them. With these, you can't. It forces me to be a little loose and just flow with it. So these were pretty good. I'm like, so let's hammer these first. Let's do laterals with plates. Then I did front raises. Then I did neck. Then I did rear delts with dumbbells on the incline bench. And I want to keep the reps all a little higher on this stuff. So what I'm going to do here is going to be that the stuff that I isolate is going to be shoulders for a bit. I did a lot of arm specialization. I feel like right now, though, based on what I'm seeing at those angles out, especially doing the GPP stuff, I'm like, man, I'm looking really thick and all that. But I'm like, and everything's looking good. But I'm like, my shoulders, like as I continue to just slowly chip away at body fat over time, if I can bring those delts up, that's going to change what I need too. I mean, my arms aren't even bad. No, I don't have disproportionately massive arms, but when I look at some of the angles, I'm actually doing okay. If my waist gets smaller from losing body fat, that'll make the arms look bigger. But I feel like my delts really need the work. So it's like, yeah, I'm going to do some front delts because front raises improve bench. And I'm not overhead pressing because I can't quite lock it yet. I will eventually. So these are a great substitute. They work the upper chest and everything, right? But they do work the side delt also and the trap. But I'm like, so we start with laterals, right? Do laterals first. Make sure we focus on the side delt, then the front raise, and then we'll finish up with the rear delts, which will also hit the side delt. I also decided I want to start working neck work back in. I'm doing all this athletic stuff and the jumping and the throwing and the GPP. And it's like, well, let's make sure that my neck is strong also, Let's train a little bit like I would train my fighters, right? Let's just toughen up, So I jump, I throw, right? We do all the barefoot running, the barefoot sled work. Let's throw the neck work in too, just, to toughen up, right? Train a little bit and think in terms of like a fighter or a contact sport athlete would. So let's do all this. So really, I think the only thing I'm really bodybuilding is going to be the shoulders. Everything else is training like a strength athlete or like you just a hybrid athlete because I run, right? I run 3 days a week. So we get out and we run. We do GPP on the off days too. So let's just focus on the big movements, build everything up, keep getting thicker. But I'm on it for a little bit. I feel like I just need all this direct delt work. And it's not that, it's just a matter of that's what I need. And it's because I'm not blasting gear. And I notice a lot of my contemporaries, a lot of these guys, because they use so much gear, the delts are disproportionately large. Well, I don't necessarily want them like that, but I also look at it and go, it's still keeping me from kind of having the as I get leaner too, the kind of physique I probably need. And it's not going to hurt my benching. So if I build my delts up, is my benching going to get worse? No. I can probably be even more stable. So decided to do all this, and everything was around 12 reps on that for that stuff, failing at around rep 12. So did those, and then I did 2 sets of band press downs and 2 sets of banded curls. Again, just to make sure that the tendons are getting work. And with the chins, I'm debating if I want to leave them with chins or if I want to go back over to just pull-ups, all right? And make sure that the shoulder health is better. And I may stick with the pull-ups, but I wanted to just try the chins. Kind of that idea of you've seen guys like BPAC said stuff that I've said. Look, dips, chins, will build your whole upper body, maybe do some laterals and it'll be complete. Well, I'm going to do a bunch of shoulder work here. So I kind of threw the chins in just because, but I also know that for shoulder health, the pull-ups may be better overall. Again, because I want that shoulder health back. I want to be able to overhead press again. And because I can't, I need to do all this smaller work. But I also know that it will build the shoulders up and help me overhead press later as I continue to improve the mobility and range of motion to be able to lock it again. If I get my delts stronger, we'll be in a good place. So again, you guys can tell by this point I got a pretty good delt pump from all the other stuff as I finish up with the band curls. But overall, pretty happy with the workout other than I chose not to squat and deadlift today. So I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.